Howdy folks, it's me, Josh. This is what the average state flag looks like in the US. Yup, pretty lame and pretty generic. So many of these flags follow the exact same generic pattern of just putting a seal on a blue background, which does a real disservice to these states. Like, I bet you wouldn't have guessed that this one belonged to Michigan. But this got me thinking, which state flag in the US is the absolute worst? I mean, there are plenty of terrible flags here, but which one is the most wretched, most ugly, and most hideous? But then again, which state has the best flag? There are a lot of duds when it comes to state flags, but there are also a lot of gems, flags that other states can try to emulate. So that's why I ranked every single state flag from worst to best to see which state has the dud of all duds versus the gem of all gems. Now, just to clarify, I'm no vexillology expert or whatever. This whole list is just my personal opinion, and if you like certain designs better or worse, that's fine. This is just what I think. And also, this list is only going to include states. No territories, no districts, which means no Puerto Rico, no DC, and unfortunately, no American Samoa, even though it has like the coolest flag ever. But of course, states are much more than just their flags. States are filled with people. Lots of people. But unfortunately, nowadays, it's all too easy for any one of these people's personal information, such as their full name, family, address, social security number, contact information, and so much more, to be stored on websites and online databases without them even knowing it, just waiting for any kind of stalker, scammer, or identity thief to find. But that's why I'm thankful for today's sponsor, Incogni. Seriously, I had no idea just how many sites and databases had stored my personal information on them until I got Incogni. In total, 108. Who knows how many have yours? But with Incogni, you never have to worry about that again. And it's incredibly simple to use too. All you have to do is select a plan, sign up, let them know who they're defending, and then they automatically request to these databases to remove your information. It's seriously that easy. And with the code Sullivan History, you can get 60% off an annual plan for only $5.19 a month. And as always, you'll be supporting my channel. So make sure to go to incogni.com/SullivanHistory and start defending your privacy today. And now, let's take a look at the worst flag in the entire country. So, in number 50, the single worst state flag in the entire country is South Dakota's. This flag, in my opinion, is the worst of the worst when it comes to seals on blue backgrounds. The colors don't go well together, the seal looks awful, like you can't even tell what's going on here without really zooming in and squinting your eyes. And it puts this stupid sans serif text going around it too. The flag tries to fix all of this by putting sunbeams around the seals, but it really doesn't work. They're just triangles. And all of this goes to make this the worst and the most ugly flag in the entire country. And now, on with the rest of the list. In number 49 is Wisconsin, whose giant white text and pretty bad seal really ruins it. And then there's Montana, whose seal looks like it was drawn by a kindergartner, and Idaho, which is just really boring. Next is Nebraska's, which needs way more color on that seal in order to justify having that much detail, unlike Vermont, which has the color but is, again, just really boring. And number 44 is Nevada, which does break the trend of just putting the seal in the middle of a blue background, instead putting it in the corner, but I think this just makes the flag look way too empty. Then we have Maine, another generic one, and the aforementioned Michigan as well. And now in number 41, we have Minnesota. Many states have been trying to redesign their flags in order to get away from the whole seal on a blue background thing, but Minnesota's really shows how this can lead flags to be awful in the other direction. Minnesota's is way too simple, to the point that it just looks bland, empty, and soulless. I genuinely don't see how anyone could look at this flag and feel pride for their state. In number 40 is Washington, whose green background does help to differentiate it, but still isn't all that special. Then there's Kentucky's, whose seal I do like, but is still very generic. And then there's Kansas, which gets a plain flag for a very plain state. Up next is New York, and I do like the eagle on the globe that it has there, as it is the Empire State. Connecticut has a Baroque shield with grapevines, which I think encapsulates the rich New England state very well, as does Oklahoma's, which has several Native American symbols, as the state was the site that many natives were sent to on reservations. In number 34, we have Oregon, which looks to be pretty bad at first glance, but that's not all, because when you flip it around, there's a beaver sitting on a log. That is the only reason why I put it higher than the rest of these. Next up is Illinois, which is a nifty eagle on a white background this time, which is shared with Massachusetts, which really does deserve a better flag than this really plain looking one. Then at number 31 is North Dakota, which has a really goofy looking eagle on it, but also has some really nice detail to it, especially with those sunbeams, those stars, and the ribbon. And next up is Pennsylvania, which is a really fine looking seal, but also, for some reason, only the horses have this weird white outline going around them. Nothing else has that. Now at number 29, we have Mississippi. This is another new one. It was redesigned a couple years ago, but for this one, I just really don't like the colors that were used, and I also don't think that flower looks very good on this flag. Then there's West Virginia, which has a decent looking seal, but what really makes this one stand out is its blue border, which I do like, at least compared to the rest of the seal flags. Then in number 27 is Utah. This is, again, a new flag, but I think the problem with this one is that it tries to be too designy, if that makes sense. It tries to have this whole mountain thing going on in the background, but I really don't think it looks good at all. The beehive is interesting, but I don't think it's enough to redeem this flag. In number 26 is New Hampshire, which is another seal flag, but I really like the laurel wreath and the stars going around this one. It really complements the seal very well, and though it could be better, I think this one is pretty good for a seal flag. Then in number 25 is Delaware, and I like the colors that this one uses, as I think it goes well with Delaware as a coastal mid-Atlantic state, as does New Jersey's, which is at 24. Then at number 23 is the stupid Ohio flag. This flag really tries to be interesting and unique with its shape and all, but I really don't like that shape. The stars as well on the flag look kinda messy too, but the main problem for me really is that shape. Then at number 22 is Indiana, which has a really cool looking seal on it with the torch and the stars. Up next is Hawaii, which has an actual flag this time. But the thing about this one is, first of all, I really don't like the stripes. They look random and really don't look good on this flag. Then there's the Union Jack, which doesn't look bad, but it is just a little strange to have a Union Jack on a US state flag. Then in number 20 is my home state, Virginia. Of course, I'm a little biased here, but I think this seal looks phenomenal, and it's just iconic. In number 19 is Alabama, which looks a little plain, just having a red cross on a white background. And at number 18 is Louisiana, which, in my personal opinion, is the single best of the flags that just have a seal on a blue background. I think the pelican on here really does a great job of distinguishing this flag, and though, again, being a seal flag, it could be improved, I think this flag is great for what it is. Now we have Iowa at number 17, and I think this looks pretty good being a tricolor with a larger middle stripe, and I like the eagle on this flag too. Then at number 16 is Arizona. Now I'm sure some of you might be a little surprised that I didn't put this flag higher, but the thing is, I just really don't like the colors that were used. I think they clash a lot, and this flag really just kinda hurts my eyes to look at. But I do like the design they're going for, which is why I put it here. And at number 15, which again, a lot of you might be surprised about, is Colorado. I think this flag really is just too plain, and I think it could use a lot more detail to spice it up. But again, it has an interesting design, and the colors don't hurt my eyes this time. At number 14 is California, which is absolutely iconic. The only thing about this flag is that I don't think the text really works. There's already plenty of detail, and the text isn't really necessary. And at number 13 is Florida, which, in my opinion, is a much better version of Alabama's, as it uses the seal here to great benefit. Now, even though the bottom of this list was filled with seal flags, I'm not opposed to the use of seals on flags. In fact, I think they can really go a long way to strengthening flags in many instances. And this is one of those instances. I think the seal on this flag gives it just the right amount of detail and really helps to distinguish it as Florida's flag. At number 12 is Alaska, and when I first started making this list, I didn't really like Alaska's all that much. But as I thought about it, I began to like it more and more. I think the stars on the dark blue background is great for Alaska as an Arctic state, but the flag is still a little plain and could use more detail. Then at number 11, we have Wyoming's. Now, I've been to Wyoming, and this flag literally is exactly what the state is. A big box with buffalo in it. But I really like this one. I think the bison looks fantastic, and the use of the seal, again, gives it a great amount of necessary detail. And now, we have reached the top 10. My personal favorite state flags. At number 10, we have the state of Tennessee. I think the design on this one is incredible with the 3 stars in the circle. It also has this weird bar at the side though, which I looked is only there so that the background wasn't pure red. But I think this flag is just a little too plain and could use a bit more detail. At number 9 is the state of Rhode Island, which I think is the most underrated state flag in the entire country. I think the anchor with the stars around it looks phenomenal, especially for Rhode Island, a coastal New England state. However, it is just a plain white background, and I really think it could use a lot more color here. Then at number 8 is North Carolina. This is an iconic flag and very distinctly North Carolina's. The colors go really well together, but the only thing is, I think the ribbons on this flag don't really look all that great. At number 7 is Missouri. This, again, I think is an incredible use of a seal on a flag. It really helps to give this tricolor here the level of spice and detail that it really needs to look incredible. But the flag just isn't iconic enough. Like, I doubt the average person will look at this flag and think of, or even recognize it as Missouri's. And I think recognizability is really important for flags, which you will see in the ones that I put just above this one. At number 6 is South Carolina. Just like I was talking about a second ago, this flag is iconic and it is instantly recognizable as South Carolina's. But I do wish that it had a little bit more color, just to give it a touch more detail and spice, but this is a really good and iconic flag. Then at number 5, we have Arkansas. Yeah, there's text on this flag, but I don't really care. I think it works for this one, and it gives it just a little bit more detail. The design for this one is really good too, with the diamond with the stars going around, and the colors work really well for this one too. Overall, a really good flag. At number 4 is New Mexico. Though this flag is rather simple, I think the colors and the Native American sun symbol that it uses there as well look phenomenal for this flag. It really could use more detail though, but this is a really good flag. Now at number 3, we have Texas. Easily the most iconic state flag in the entire country, honestly. This flag is synonymous with the state of Texas, is instantly recognizable, and has colors that work really well together. I just wish it were a little more detailed though. It is a little bit on the simple side. And at number 2 is the state of Maryland. Now, I love to dunk on Maryland, but I do think this is an incredible flag here. Like Texas, it's instantly recognizable, synonymous with the state, but this one just has a little bit more detail on it that I think makes it just that little bit better. I do think that some parts of it, like the black and yellow part, clash a bit, but this is a great flag. And now, at number 1, my personal favorite state flag in the entire country is Georgia's. This flag is absolutely incredible in my opinion. It uses the design of the Confederate flag, which excellently encapsulates Georgia's deep southern heritage. The colors work very well together, the seal is used excellently placed between the stars, which really helps to give it that bit of detail. It's recognizable, and if I were a Georgian, I would be proud to be so looking at this flag. This flag does almost everything perfectly, and I really do think that this is the single best state flag in the entire country. So there we have it. Every single state flag ranked in order based on how good I believe them to be. I think this list goes to show a lot of what I really like in a flag, which is a combination of detail and simplicity, such that it makes the flag something truly beautiful and will make a person feel pride for whatever it represents. But hey, what did you think of my ranking? Are you a die-hard South Dakota flag defender? Do you think Georgia's flag isn't all it's cracked up to be? Let me know in the comments. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to stick around for more. And hey, you could also, maybe, subscribe or something. So that's it for today's video. Well, till next time, see ya.